At last, you are asleep. For 3 nights, each attempt to rest has brought you starting from your bed in fright, with no memory of what horrified you so. With a sickening sense of déjà vu, you begin to dream.
Treachery and doom. My brother would unleash a great evil. Britannia is in peril.
Sure that the ghost can take you to Britannia, you allow yourself to be drawn to him.
A visitor, and from far away indeed. Were he not dead, I'd suspect my brother sent thee. No matter, thou shalt serve to draw the hounds from the scent.
Below, a creature heads toward the dark woods, a thrashing sack slung over its massive shoulder.
What hast thou done with our lord's daughter Ariel? Dropped her below to an accomplice, I'll wager. Well, he'll nigh escape us, and when we bring him back, he'll both hang.
Several tense hours later, you are dragged before Baron Ulrich. Ignoring you, Ulrich questions his captain.
What news, Corwin?
Forgive us, my lord. The foul creature escaped. A score of us gave chase, but it fled into the Stygian abyss with poor Ariel. We were attacked, goblins and worse, my lord. Only 3 of us survived.
I see.
The Baron turns his hard grey eyes upon you.
I was warned of thy coming. Last fortnight, an apparition of an old, haggard man appeared in my dreams. Guard thy daughter well, it warned, for an evil one shall come to steal her away. I posted guards at Ariel's door, but still you took her from me. They say thou didst drop her to a troll waiting below. What sayest thou?
You explain that you are the Avatar, and that you are innocent.
Whether thou speak truth or falsehood, I cannot say. Stories tell of the coming of the Avatar, but years have passed since he visited here. If thou art truly the Avatar, then perhaps thou canst offer hope. None here can survive the Stygian abyss and rescue Ariel. My mind is set. Corwin shall take thee to the abyss. Return here with my daughter, and thy innocence shall be proven. If thou dost not return, Avatar, then thy lies shall have brought thee low.
This be the foul pit's only entrance. Once it is locked, none can pass. I will shut thee in and stand guard till I hear Ariel's voice from within. Otherwise, 'twill remain shut forever.
And welcome to Let's Replay Ultima Underworld. This was something I played a few years ago. It was released in '93, I believe just before Doom actually. And most significantly, this also denotes me having worked OBS out. And it's a bit of a guinea pig, this particular replay. Aside from having wanted to replay this a while, I'm also using this as a good candidate for getting my head around OBS, because if I get my head around it properly, then I'm actually going to be able to output more Let's Plays, because if I get this thing right, then I won't have to render anymore. I'll be able to create the files that I'm uploading, which will be good. So, hopefully you won't notice any differences in quality as this one progresses, but if you do, that will be me playing with different settings and trying to keep any change at the viewer end to a minimum. But diving into it, we're going to create a character, female, because I'd rather look at pixelated female than pixelated male. My logic is infallible. Right-handed. And we're going to go with a shepherd, I believe. A shepherd is the outlier that no one ever suspects to be decent, but those are terrible stats. We want... What we want is a high strength. Because our carrying capacity is double our strength score. 24, I think we can do better than that. 20, you watch, we'll never get that high again. 18, case in point. 17, oh my lord, what have I done? 22, 16. Out of curiosity. So yeah, Paladin is also a good one to have. Just noticing the dexterity of the Shepherd though. 18. 19. 16. Why you gotta do me like this, game? The reason I'm not just going straight fighter is we're actually going to attempt magic this time around. I'm curious as to what I can do with it. My first playthrough I didn't use magic at all, and most people didn't give a fuck, but inevitably there were a few that said, oh, you should be showcasing the magic, and this is not for them. This is because I felt like seeing what I can do with the magic. Wow, my strength scores are just sucking a hard one right now. Doesn't really matter whether I'm going with a Shepherd or a Paladin. Wow, alright, so anything above 24, I'm just going to jump on. What's another strength? Ranger. Low intelligence, though. Why am I going to... I have a memory of playing a Shepherd the first time I came through, is why I'm going with it. No, I don't want to... Oh my lord, I'm failing at everything. 10 minutes in and we're already failing. Oh dear. $15, 19. You'd have thought a Paladin would be biased towards a higher strength score than this. He is not. Paladin is having consistently the worst strength rolls so far. Oh, 23. Nope. Back down to 18. Shepherd is giving us a 17, 13, 25. Not good enough, I'm being greedy. What are we going to get with a Ranger? 22? 28, yes! Right, we're going with that. Our skills. Repairing's not going to matter because ideally we'll get to a point where we can repair our gear. I'm aiming to be able to cast 5th circle spells, which includes repairing our stuff. And there's a blacksmith in the game that can repair our stuff for us. With that in mind, swimming is the only thing that really, I think, is remotely worth grabbing out of that lot. Out of this lot, we want a sword, of course. And you'd think I'd go with the redhead, but I'm not. Standard. And of course, Aurelia is the name that we will roll with. Now, standard mouse control, right click picks things up, left click investigates them. You can use these little context things to change your interactions, so you can look at the world, pick up things, stab things, open things. Depending on what you're doing, that can also open things. But you can also use the right mouse button. So for example, you can pick things up, you can interact with the right mouse button. Can I backtrack? Can I walk backwards? Alright, so if I hold down shift, my walking backwards works okay, but otherwise it's about as good as it was when I did the Unity port. Alright, so anyway, we want to use you. This sack will eventually be for our keys. Just need to get my head around the key configuration. It's unfortunately WASD and I don't know how to rebind it, short of downloading some other scripting program to change what the game does with my inputs. The other reason I'm jumping on OBS for this is because anyone who was foolhardy enough to watch my original Let's Play of this will remember that about, I don't know, a third of the way into the game, we're about level 3 or so, my inventory glitched and I lost half of it. And I'm pretty sure that was because fraps, so hopefully that won't be a thing this time. Now this map, I'm just going to... This is our map, you can see it here. I am going to stay without the map, but we're going to hold on to it until we find a body of water I can deposit it in. As I have no intention of using the map. We didn't need it last time, we don't need it this time. Backpack with a rune bag. Put that in there for our key. Now what's our starting mana? 2 whole points of mana. That's frankly terrible. My dearest Alfred, go into the abyss knowing that I will not forget thee. Yeah, he's dead, and that can sit there and gather dust. And no one's ever going to come looking for you, little rat. So we'll just boop you now. I said boop you now. Hey look, we can move backwards when our sword is drawn. No, we can just move backwards generally. Okay, game, fine. You're gonna be like that? I love games that are consistent like that. It just makes my day. Alright, so we can unlock this. I'm actually gonna save as well at this point. You can see my old saves from when I did the Unity playthrough. Hopefully the frame rate is consistent. It looks good on again, in what the OBS screens I've got there. We'll just move that, so I've got my little setup. We have toadstools. I care not for toadstools. We have candles, which I will grab because they are light sources. As you can see, light matters. Different light sources have different values. For example, a candle or a torch. Candles are the lowest light source in the game, but they're better than nothing. You! Food bag. Hail stranger, what be thy business? I have not seen thee in this place before. Oh, let's see. I'm merely exploring, as you do. Exploring, eh? That's a good one. But if thou dost not wish to speak of thy crime, 'tis not my business to ask. Thou needest not be ashamed of thy misfortune, lass, for thou art in the same pot with all of us now. If thou art to have a chance of surviving in the abyss for long, thou must learn the lay of the land. I'll be able to manage by myself. This isn't our first time through. Perhaps thou wilt. I've heard many say the same as thee, and a few are still alive today. Farewell then. He will tell us about the races in the game, or in the first couple of levels. He'll give you directions to his little group. He's not a bad NPC at all. I just don't need him. Okay, apparently that's not a sufficiently deep body of water to throw our map into. I'll come back for that little rotworm. Locked, huh? Oh, really? Well then. Oh wait, there's a lever. Back where this rotworm is. Oh god. The jumping. I need to work out what my jump button even is. Alright, you're actually a threat. He'll come back and probably poison me and then that'll be it. Right, is this deep enough to hurl my map into? No. Well, it can stay there. Right, so J is in fact jump. I don't know why J wasn't working before. There we go, as I fling myself into a wall. Dead rotworm. That is, in theory, a quest item, but we are not going to need it. I have my other way of completing that particular quest. And... yay, I made it. The jumping physics in this game suck. The biggest, fattest, sloppiest fucking donkey dick you can think of. The jumping in this game is the single worst movement mechanic ever conceived in video game history. Expect plenty of rage about that. I make no apologies for the words I utter whilst attempting to jump in this game. I may just preemptively age-gate the entire series. open this. That reminds me of when my again in the Unity playthrough when the silver sapling glitched out of the world, which we're about to find in here. This will resurrect us wherever we plant it. It's effectively, yeah, invulnerable. Well, it's not invulnerability, but it will just let us keep reviving. I am going to do as I did before, and I'm going to leave it all the way up here. So we're not dealing with permadeath because we can just save our game and reload, so there's not really much of a threat there. We're going to leave this here, so if we die for any reason, yes, we'll keep all of our stuff, but we're all the way back to the top of the labyrinth. Now we'll hang on to that cudgel for bartering. Secret door here. Nope, we went splat. And movement, aside from being smooth with WASD, if you hold down shift or put caps lock on, you will actually move on a grid, which is a lot faster, as you just saw. It's much easier for navigating water. We have another dead rotworm. A badly damaged one. Now if we stand next to this, there's an acid slug on the other side, which will hopefully melt the door for us. So I'll just stand here and nom an apple and some cheese. I'm impatient, we'll just beat the door. There is our acid slug. There was our acid slug. We have our next key. Acid slugs. Kill it. There we go. Was there another one in here? No. We have a potion of healing and some tasty plants. Might as well just go ahead and nom them straight away. They won't kill us. They're not terribly nutritious, but they won't kill us. Peering into the crystal bowl, a vision of a strange world appears. Bizarre creatures float through space. A green path, flanked by a black void on either side, runs off into the distance. Somehow, you know the path leads to Britannia. That is a clue to the end of the game. It will make a lot more sense when we get to the end of the game. It also omits the part that a bit further on in said void, there's a fuck-off pyramid that is the source of every bit of sadness that doesn't relate to jumping in this game. Now, we're going to save. We're going to jump. Oh dear, it begins. I'm not running, or at least I'm not trying to run. Ah, there we go. Okay, so I do actually have a walk button and a run button. Okay. Oh dear. And walk. Yay, we did it. Hit the button. There is a door over there that this button just opened. No. Oh my lord, this is... I'm just gonna restore. And we're gonna save. The save scumming will be fierce in this game. And save. There we go. Right. Here we have a shrine. Now, the way that leveling up in this game works is we'll gain experience points. I don't know if it shows here. No, it doesn't show us here. In the second game, you actually get a tally of how many skill points you've earned. And each skill point you earn works out to 1 bonus to skills. So you find a mantra, you chant the you find a shrine, you chant the relevant mantra, and it gives you a benefit to the corresponding skill. So for example, we could say ammo, and we advance in sword. We could say that doesn't improve any of our skills, but it gives us a quest item. We have the key of truth. I'm gonna throw that in there now. What else do we have? What's another one? So, spoiler alert there. There are some artifacts in this game that we need to find to finish the game. So, the mantras do different things. Those are the only two unique ones. The others all relate to skills. Let's see. Nope, so we spent our 1 point on learning sword. The only good weapons in this game are swords. It's not worth putting points into anything else, really. Oh dear. Just toddle our way back up. So there we go, we've already got one endgame item. Just save it here. Now the catch is, of course, we have to accommodate that in our inventory for the entire game. For those expecting immersion and continuity and competence, go check out Ghost LP's playthrough of this. This is not the place for any of those things. And we have our first actual enemy. And of course, now I can back up. So we have a leather vest, another cudgel. That is an empty bag that we can use for bartering stuff. Oh, and you can look up and down too with the 1 and 2 keys. So 1 is down, 3 is up, 2 will center your view. Pick up the sling stones. He didn't drop gold. Sometimes he drops gold, I think. And windows. Can we go up to the window? You can look in the window. And the further down the game you make it, the more you can see in the window. It's not a huge deal, but it's a little touch. We see a banner of Cabarrus. We have a flesh slug down here. I'm just gonna stab that. And we have a fountain in here that will heal us. Oh, we also have a lockpick. No, that's not what I wished to do at all. Just rearrange. There. Pick the lockpick up, put it in our key bag. There is no keychain in this game, unfortunately. Just drink from that. Leave those plants, I don't care. Food is not something we really need to worry about ever in this game. There is a hunger mechanic. There is a fatigue mechanic. And generally speaking, they're not bad. They don't detract from the game at all, but you don't need them. You don't need to worry about them. You will never not have a place to sleep. You will never not have access to food. Right, you can die. Some gloves. There are magic items in this game. There are no magic items anywhere near here, but there are magic items in the game. And we can get them identified, and it costs more than it's generally worth to identify them. Have a buckler that we can just go ahead and trade. Another torch. Spider. And of course now we can't back up. We have leeches, which can be used to cure poison. And we have a red gem, which is actually something else we want to hold on to for later in the game. Not that we won't have a million more of them by the time we get to that point. And finally, the one spider here that's actually a threat. If I can walk in a straight line, I haven't even started to touch the booze in the game yet. Actually, I wonder if this is a magical item in here. I don't know where many of the magic items in this game are, So I will be relying on identifying and name enchantment to find them. Right, bit of thread we want. That is another quest item, in fact. Well, not quest item, but good luck finishing the game without it. We can take that to Taylor on one of the later levels and he will make us a pair of very, very useful boots. But for the moment, that's everything. The grey goblins are in here. I give no fucks about them. They don't really add anything except for atmosphere, context. You get to hear about how much they hate the green goblins and how much the green goblins hate the grey goblins, and yeah, it's a thing. But we don't need them. I'm not gonna long play. I'm not gonna speedrun this like I virtually had to in the first playthrough, but I'm also not gonna interact with every single wall and NPC in the game. Let's put these here. We got the rest of our create food spell. Get out of here because that is a very heavy storage item. We don't need that. There'll be plenty of bags and backpacks to carry things in without the penalty that comes with that. Now we have Drog. Yes, what's your business here? I wish to view the splendor of thy settlement. You gotta suck a bit of cock to get anywhere with this particular race. Best place to see when you see Abyss. King Vernix, he the bravest in the whole underworld. You go see him if he see you. Okay, well you get the fuck out of my way. There is a fair amount of loot with each of the goblin areas. It is worth murdering them all and taking their loot if you feel like really getting into the role-playing aspect of this game. If you feel like bartering, for example, and using the loot as currency. The bartering mechanic can be pretty handy. In fact, it's essential at one point. But aside from that one point, you also really don't need it. Langro. Thou not be bodder and de boss, eh? Jesus Christ, my English hurts just reading that. Why dost thou not ask him thyself? Yeah, well I could do that, but the boss don't like to be bothered with, like, practical stuff. His mind on, higher things. Perhaps then I could give thee a small gift to show my appreciation. There we go. Here is a gift. No, I don't have any gold, you ungrateful turd. I'm afraid thou didst misunderstand me. You saw the reference to his stew there. Come back for me stew, huh? Smell brought the... Jesus Christ, words! Don't blame the, 'tis good stew. What kind of stew? Me mother used to make it. That takes a rotworm, chops it up fine and marinates it in pork with mushrooms. Here, it is all written down on this. Any other protein that would actually sound really good. I thank thee kindly. In fact, that makes me feel like making a beef stew tomorrow night. This recipe for rotworm stew requires pork, a green mushroom, a dead rotworm, and a bowl to mix them in. That is something that you can do. I'm going to hold on to this for now. I'm not going to spoil everything straight away. I could give you. I could just speak a walkthrough of this game now, and I'm fighting the urge to do pretty much just that in one sitting. Yep, they've locked it. We don't need to worry about them again for the rest of the playthrough, though. Where is it? Nice, there's... Alright, so there's a spider through here. I got my bearings mixed up there. I thought this was the room with the rats. Tis not a room with any rats. It's a room with a very dead spider. And some corn, which is now our corn. There are more leeches down here. If you're particularly prone to getting poisoned, then you can jump down there and there will be some leeches. Don't know if I can see them. No, I can't. Let's refocus our view. Right, in here should be the rats that I was thinking of, and indeed there they are. Stab. 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 There should be a white one too, or a grey one, which is the one that can poison us. There it is, just on my left. Where'd you go? Wait, where'd you go? There he is. And he's dead. Right, well. We've got another candle. We've got 4 candles. Just pick all of them up because we can trade them. Some ale. Booze will get you shit-faced in this game. If you drink plenty of it, your vision goes blurry. Eventually you will pass out. And we've got a sturdy door. We'll see what's behind that door in the next episode. And a quick save. And thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed yourselves. I will see you next episode wherein we murder whatever's behind us and take its gear, which is basically par for the course. Until then, cheers.